Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Cozy Chat, a slow English podcast which helps you to learn English in a fun and natural way. I am Maria, and before we get started with today's episode, I have to tell you about my cozy drink. Ta-da! I just got a new coffee maker because my old one broke. It had actually been broken for a long time and it wasn't working right, but it was still producing coffee. And I was still kind of okay with it. But my mother-in-law came to visit, the mother of my husband. And she said, "This coffee maker has to go. Please let me buy you a new coffee maker." So I did. And we went to the store and bought a coffee maker that has a cold brew function. Now, cold brew is another word for iced coffee. And I thought that iced coffee was simply just coffee over ice. As in, you can just take a hot coffee, pour it over ice, and there you go. It's iced coffee, right? But no, that's not true. Cold brew is actually brewed slower and somehow in a different way. Obviously, it's not brewed with hot water, and it takes about 5 minutes for my coffee maker to brew this cold brew. And then I add ice, and it is a super nice, refreshing drink, which is perfect for the summer. Cheers, guys. As you guys know, I love hobbies and I love learning new things. So I'm really excited to tell you all today about a kind of new hobby that I have started. I have young kids and they like to paint. And for a long time, I was just setting the materials up for them to paint, and they would be painting at the table while I did work or work around the house or other things like that. For me, it was nice that they had something to do and were playing to give me some time to do other things. But just recently, I have started sitting down and painting with them because I thought, hey, why not? This kind of looks fun. And since they do it so much, why don't I try to do it too? And maybe that's fun, right? Plus, they really like it when I sit down and actually paint or draw with them. So I started doing that, and I realized I was really having a good time with it. It's actually really fun when you paint and something comes out a lot nicer than you even expected it to. So since it is the summer, I do have a little bit more time. And whenever we were recently in a store, we have a store near where I live that has lots of things for a very low price. It is very cheap. But they have a lot of art supplies. They have lots of pencils, markers, paint supplies, and everything like that. So The last time I went there, I thought, I'm going to buy some different paint supplies just to try to do some new art projects for the summer. So I bought some different kinds of paint. I also bought some canvases, some plain white canvases, which are good to paint on and to hang on the wall. And I thought, hey, why don't we just have some fun with this? So we came home. I got on YouTube. Guys, I love YouTube. I love YouTube because you can find everything that you would want about whatever topic it is that you're looking for. So I looked up kids painting tutorials or easy painting tutorials, and there are so many that show you how to paint correctly and how to paint different kinds of pictures and things like that. So we were able to learn from these videos the real correct way how to paint. Whenever I was little, I never really knew the correct way to paint. I always just took paint and put it on the paper and that was it. But there's a lot more to it than that. And so one of those videos showed how to paint a rainbow tree or a colorful tree with acrylic paints. And the way you do it is drip the paint on the paper in dots, and then you kind of blend the colors together for the leaves, which makes a pretty rainbow tree. So, are you ready to see the rainbow tree that I painted? I moved my artwork over there so that my iced coffee wouldn't spill all over them. I'm actually going to move my coffee. Ta-da! Here it is. So, you just draw the tree in black, and as you see, we did drops of paint all around the tree in different colors. And then I just took a brush, a round flat brush, and boop, 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 like blended it together. And I think it came out really pretty. See? Then I drew some grass, some little flowers. There's my tree. And the sky all around. I love drawing and painting suns. So that was exciting. And then just some birds. This one was really fun because it was fun picking out the colors of the tree and actually doing this little blending exercise. Plus, I just really liked adding all of the details. And then when I was done, I was like, hey, I really like this. This was just done on regular paper. And I have to think of how to frame it. I would like to frame it, but it kind of pops up from the paper. See? It's like shiny, but that's kind of cool. And I have to find a frame that is good for it. But anyway, I'm really proud of this one, you guys. Do you want to see what my kids made? So here's my kids' trees. This one, she told me, it's important that you see the branches. She really wanted all of her branches to be seen. She did her grass first. She gave me the idea to do the grass, and then the sky and the sun, and then she added some birds after she saw mine. And This one also added a rainbow and wanted to do more red paint. What do you think, guys? Do you like these trees? So this was the first art piece that really kind of got me excited. I was like, oh, this is fun. And I like my tree that I made. How cool is that, right? And then we didn't do anything else for like a week or two, maybe. So then after we did the tree projects, they wanted to paint on these canvases. These are the canvases that I bought. These were really cheap. This is just a surface to paint on, and these have a frame built in, and I was surprised at how cheap these were. So I bought several of them, and let me show you what they did. One of them drew this, said it is called The Beach. And I thought it was really interesting how she did the water. And right here, where the water meets the sand, she was painting along that line. And it started blurring a little bit with the blue. And I said, oh, be careful, it's smearing. When colors smear, that means they rub together. I said, careful, the yellow is smearing with the blue. And she said, that's okay because water splashes. And it does kind of look like it's splashing, doesn't it? I was like, this is actually really beautiful. Looks like modern art. I really like this one. And then another one is this one. A watermelon in the sea with some fish and the beach. This was also something that we learned how to paint on YouTube, the watermelon. And then I was inspired to also do a canvas as well. So, are you ready to see my canvas project? Ta-da! This was yet inspired by another YouTube tutorial, which was about an artist that I don't remember her name, but she always did paintings with 3 lines. This is the horizon, the mountains, and the sun. And she did this in all different kinds of ways with different colors. And I did this, and I just really like it. I don't know why. I was really proud because I blended the blue and the green to make this pretty turquoise color. And I think it kind of looks like the sea. I really want to hang this one up. Another cool one that my kids did is this one. It is a sunset and a palm tree. I thought that was really good. Afterwards, she said, no, I need to add birds. And she went back, added some birds with the pencil. But I thought these were all really fun to do and actually ended up pretty cool. So it really makes me think, these things that kids do, they're actually really fun for adults as well. I have not painted since I was a little kid, or maybe an art class when I was a teenager, but I've never really thought about doing it until now. But it really does feel so good and fun to do something creative and to have something beautiful afterwards. It's also very relaxing to paint and to sit there and think about what you're going to do. And it's just really soothing to just sit there and quiet and just paint. And then the other night, I was thinking, I really want a book to read. Like, I needed a new book to look at before bed or to read before bed. And I didn't have one. So I decided to grab this book. This is a book from the library where we live. It is in Catalan, but it says, "Tu també pots ser un artista," which means you also can be an artist. I got this for my kids, and it's really interesting because it talks about different artists, what they did, and how you can also do a similar kind of art at home. Like this one. What I really like about reading this book is that usually before bed, I don't like reading in other languages that is not English. I like reading in English before bed because I don't have to think as much. But what I like about reading a book that's kind of for kids is there's pictures. So you can read. It's easier to read, and plus there are pictures to look at, which makes it all easier to understand. So I thought that was kind of a fun piece of advice for you guys. If you can get your hands on English books for kids, then that might be really interesting to you to just practice reading because it is written in an easier way. There's pictures and they're usually shorter. So what do you think, you guys? Do you like my new hobby? Do you think it's cool? Is painting something that you like to do or something that you would like to start doing? Or do you have any new cool hobbies? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. Bye.